Welcome to the season 1 and 2 recap of Lupin.
Arsène Diop plans the theft of a high-priced necklace from the Louvre, which his father was accused of stealing from the Pellegrini family 25 years earlier. The loan sharks double-cross him and steal the necklace, but their getaway goes awry and they are arrested. Arsène ends up in possession of the necklace. Arsène Diop gives his son Raul a copy of Arsène Lupin, Gentleman Burglar, given to him by his own father, who was framed for the previous theft of the same necklace and hanged himself in prison. Arsène escapes prison and finds Anne, who admits to getting Arsène's father to sign a false confession at the urging of an Inspector Gabriel Dumont, whom Arsène recognizes as the policeman who turned him over to social services. Meanwhile, Yusuf continues to investigate the Arsène Lupin connection happening upon the file of Arsène's father, Babakar Diop. After learning that Inspector Dumont was in charge of the case against his father, Arsène kidnaps the now Commissioner Dumont from City Hall and tries to extract a confession from him about his father's death. The police scramble to locate Dumont and Arsène escapes just in time. Dumont is rescued but does not reveal any information about the incident. Yusuf uncovers Dumont's involvement with the original investigation and connects them to the necklace's theft and the kidnapping. Arsène finds Dumont again and forces him into providing more information about Hubert Pellegrini. Dumont gives him the name of Fabian Buriat, a disgraced former journalist who was blacklisted while investigating the Pellegrinis. Fabian helps Arsène acquire a tape connecting Hubert's arm dealing to a deadly terrorist attack on a French embassy, and Arsène later finds her body hanging from the ceiling. Following Fabian's death, Arsène finds himself pursued by Leonard as well. On Raul's birthday, Arsène gives him a Lupin costume and takes him and Claire on a train trip to a festival at Ithrita. Leonard follows the family onto the train, with orders from Hubert to get rid of Arsène but leave his family alone. Arsène spots Leonard and manipulates the local police into arresting him as Paul. The family makes it to the festival without major incident, but Leonard is released from police custody and kidnaps Raul on the beach. As Arsène and Claire search desperately for Raul, Yusuf appears and calls out to Arsène, addressing him as Lupin.
Yusuf informs Arsène and Claire that he saw Raul struggling with Leonard in a parking lot and that the two drove away. Meanwhile, Arsène and Yusuf locate Leonard in the town of Bonneville and tail him to an abandoned mansion where Leonard, who saw Raul bound and gagged, is lying in wait. Yusuf quietly contacts Sofia Belkacem and asks her for the assistance, but Arsène ties him up inside the car after revealing that he knows that Yusuf is a police officer. Prior to Belkacem's arrival, Yusuf escapes his bindings and successfully rescues Raul from Leonard's car without Arsène's knowledge. Meanwhile, Arsène is extremely relieved when Belkacem tells him that nothing but a soda can was found in the boot of the car. Arsène escapes from Pascal and his men and hides in the roof above Claire's apartment, where, to his dismay, he hears Claire tearfully telling Raul that Arsène is dangerous and that she doesn't want him to come near them again. Meanwhile, Arsène and Benjamin come up with an elaborate plan to weaken Hubert that involves Arsène seducing Juliet by taking her on a joyride around Paris and pretending to steal a priceless Pissarro painting for her, who is uncooperative but does reveal Arsène's real name. The police are ultimately forced to let Hubert go after he calls in a favor from the Minister of the Interior. Over the next few days, Arsène and Benjamin hide out, managing to evade capture using a secret bunker that connects to the catacombs of Paris. Meanwhile, after finding a coded message from Arsène, Yusuf recovers a USB drive among the evidence taken from the apartment that contains footage of Dumont's interrogation, in which he admits to his having accepted illegal bribes, as well as more papers that link him to Babakar's case. When the music starts, Arsène sneaks into Hubert's private box, holding him at knife point and forcing him to confess to having framed Babakar and orchestrated his murder. as well as the murders of Fabian and Leonard and the kidnapping of Raul. Asen steals a speedboat and arranges a meeting with Claire and Raul on a nearby bridge. He apologizes for the pain his actions have caused them and tells them that he needs to stay away for their safety. As the police approach, he runs off into the night. Thank you for watching the recap, and if you liked it, then please give a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.